This is your host, Celerity Clarity. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So, I've been channeling since yesterday, and particularly, I want to talk about the show that my man and I have been watching called Black Clover. And this Kotodama devil, otherwise translating into soul word demon, this individual who was able to sow so many seeds and lay so many finite traps out that they were able to turn entire races, entire classes against each other. And so I'm not necessarily going to dive into something as deep as class or race today, though those topics may make a small appearance. But I did want to talk about how the devil is always in the details. And when things seem to be going really, really tough, that is when we are more susceptible to being affected by those traps that have been laid out for us. And that's if you believe in those sorts of entities, right? So I wanted to kind of talk about and shed light on the sort of traps that may have been laid out for y'all. And also, I want to ensure that we untangle everything, because right now, things just are not what they seem. And I feel like there's just a lot going on right now. I feel like many are affected by the spirit of procrastination. I feel like many could be affected by individuals such as the soul word demon, the entities such as the soul word demon, of which anything he speaks comes into existence. And thus, let's talk about it. That ending was kind of cheesy, but anyway. We are going to start out with the channeling that I have been doing since yesterday. We are going to be looking at 2, which is related to the moon, Cancer domicile, Capricorn detriment, Taurus exalt, Scorpio fall. Okay? And with that, I got a few downloads. I got, of course, the Kotodama devil, or the soul word demon from Black Clover. I also got Asta from Black Clover, though. We'll go further into that. I channeled Love Song by Tesla, specifically the lyrics, "Love will find a way." I also channeled that right now it is time to focus on yourself, okay? Give yourself the room and the time to breathe and heal if you are in need of healing right now. I also feel like I wanted to draw a couple of cards to just kind of get the energy going, if you will, and to untangle it a little more so for myself. We got, and this is from The Romance Angels by Miss Doreen Virtue. I understand using this deck is controversial, as Doreen Virtue is a follower of Christianity and decided to banish, any sort of spirituality from her life. I totally understand that. Nonetheless, I love the deck. It's beautiful and it's timeless. Thank you for bringing this into fruition, Miss Doreen Virtue. So with that, we've got soulmate. Yes, this is a soulmate. And we're going to be explaining that a little more in depth because I want to be very, very careful with any terminology such as soulmate. You more than likely won't hear me using that sort of terminology unless it's very rarely or on certain occasions. I'm not one who believes in twin flames or things like that. I feel like we can have multiple soulmates, and that is based on how our destiny changes and aligns throughout our lifetime while we encounter others. I also feel like soulmates don't necessarily have to be strictly romantic. I feel they can be platonic. I feel they could be familial. Um, they could be, a random acquaintance or a pupil from school or even a coworker. I feel soulmates are those individuals who we are destined to meet and who could have great impacts on our lives. And those who our soul feels like it recognizes their soul, and that it's almost like an instantaneous bond or a click. And I'm not talking about a trauma bond. I'm talking about like, I feel like this person gets me and I get this person, and it works out. So we also have very soon, but that came out in reverse. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And we also got love yourself first, but that is in reverse. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And then at the bottom of the deck, we got worth waiting for, and that's in reverse too. Divine timing is at work in your love life. With all of that, yes, this could potentially be one of your soulmates. I still want you to focus on yourself and give yourself the room and time to breathe and to heal and get to know yourself. Give them the time to breathe and to focus on working and creating their own path, their own destiny as well. It's going to take quite some time for your paths to realign, even if like you are currently together, right? Or even, say you're married and, say this could even be a long distance relationship. Put it where it fits. But it could take some time for your paths to realign. And I feel like a lot of this has to do with the possibility of career, finance. Nonetheless, love will always find its way back to you. Love will find a way. But you have to ask yourself, is this worth waiting for? We have very soon in reverse and worth waiting for in reverse because it's up to you to decide. Do you want to wait around for this? I feel like it could be beneficial if you do want to spend some time focusing on yourself. Because this soulmate, they'll allow you to do that. But you have to allow them the same. All right. I feel like this individual also feels that you are like a breath of fresh air, almost kind of minty. I feel like you need to start acting like that and to treat yourself as such. That it's time to really see how invigorating your own spirit is. And that a lot of these feelings of admiration that you may have towards this soulmate or towards others, a lot of those characteristics and traits you already can find within yourself if you just look. So, treat yourself as such. My breath of fresh air. Some helpful deciding factors as to whether or not this is your reading. Y'all could resonate with macaroons, pistachio, be it the nut, the flavor, the scent, spring or mint green. Touching and smoking grass could be a hobby of yours, and I'm talking gardening, or even just playing outside. I also feel like you're coming into unexpected money, and this could be a large lump sum. And with that, I had channeled Bubble Boy. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the movie. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal, but his parents essentially have him convinced that he has this incurable disease, essentially, where he's just pretty much allergic to everything. And so he doesn't go outside, he doesn't do anything people his age typically do. He's at home with his parents, literally living in a bubble. A bubble that was created for him because, again, he was convinced that he's so sick and his immune system is so compromised that he needs to be in this bubble 24/7, 365. Cannot be outside of the bubble, cannot breathe normal human air, like almost as if like he's like a NICU baby or a preemie, okay? All of which he's not. But Bubble Boy finally sneaks out, okay? And eventually in the movie, he finds himself in this game show. And if I am not mistaken, he unexpectedly wins $500. I'm going to try and find the clip and I will attach it to this video. But I'm fairly certain that he wins $500. And it's unexpectedly. Like, he thought that the world was this terrible, nasty, just fucked up place. And yes, he did encounter some really crazy situations. Watch that movie at your own risk because it does also like dive kind of into cults and things of that nature. But at the same time, he's in love, and that's why he knew he had to break out of his bubble. Okay? Like, he didn't want to be at home with his parents forever and ever. He wanted to bust out, see the world, and go stop the girl that he's in love with. Go stop her wedding to one of the biggest jerks on the planet, in his eyes at least. So, whether it's worth waiting for, that's up to you. Because she obviously didn't wait for Bubble Boy. And he could have very well missed his shot if he didn't, decide to bust out of his bubble. If this does have to do with finances, I feel like, especially with our angel number 222, right? And that has Capricorn detriment, Taurus exalt. And with that, I feel it can be really easy to bring in luxury, but at the same time, you have that energy of possibly overworking yourself or even being someone who doesn't really know their identity outside of working themselves to the bone. And, this could be you, this could be your partner, but I feel like it is time for, if not one of you, both of you, to take on these slightly separate journeys. I'm not saying that you're going to split or anything, but, or even that you're together at all, because some of you could have already split. Some of you, this could be a friend turned into a crush. I don't know. Are you okay, Chitto? 1 second. But what I do know is that only you can decide whether or not this is worth waiting for. You decide your destiny at the end of the day. And destiny has to realign for you and whatever you choose. with that said, let's go ahead and get into some tarot. I will be using the Mystic Mondays deck by Grace Duong. Oh, cool. Okay, I already highlighted Bubble Boy. That's good. Let's go ahead and do our mantra. I cloak myself in a chiffon of pink. I ask my spirit guides, ancestors, deities, angels, and Mother Nature ground me in a protective glimmer, so that I may think and so that I may shimmer. I am your oracle of the light, your seer in the dark. Please grant me that creative spark, and allow me to bask in your divine essence through this confusion and stark. I am you and you are me. Voice through me these messages you wish to speak, and thus it be. And so it'd be like that sometimes. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. I have a few decks that I have picked out specifically for this. Really wanted to work with them today. I'm eager to see what's going on. Devil is in the details. What does that mean to us right now? Let's see. Please know that this reading is timeless, and thus whenever you find it is when it was meant to find you, and it could be talking about your past, your present, your future. Please put it where it fits, take what fits, and let the rest marinate for those who feel it resonates. Okay, so he could be a she could be a he, they could be a they. Roles can be swapped. I could pull a King of Swords and be talking about your Aunt Marjorie. Please put energy where it fits. Let's get into it. So far we have pulled 3 of Swords in reverse, 6 of Cups, ooh, Ace of Swords, and the 10 of Swords. Wow. I may want to clarify the 10 of Swords, but I definitely feel with the 10 of Swords and the 3 of Swords right now, there is indefinitely some sort of healing from some sort of betrayal, some sort of grief that someone is working through. And again, this could be you or your partner or even both, but I feel like someone here with all of the swords here is really trying to rationalize these emotions that they're feeling. Oh, let me turn off my timer. That is for my cast iron. And we sealed that puppy. Okay, I needed to seal my cast iron. But there's a lot of rationalization here. And I feel like this is being used as a means of coping and a means of survival, especially, again, if someone is really focused on the bag and trying to come up with these creative ideas in order to make shmoney. We don't have any Pentacles cards out here, but we do have one Cups card, and that is the 6 of Cups. I feel like with the 6 of Cups, that could definitely allude to past lives. That could allude to soulmates. It could be someone of whom your soul recognizes. This could even be someone that you grew up with, in a sense. This could be someone who always seemed to be in the right place at the wrong time. Y'all could have been at the same places at the same time, but just never seemed to meet. I feel like timing is a mega aspect here. We have the Ace of Wands here. I feel, again, this person is just really, really trying to work through things in a way that isn't necessarily healthy, but it's the only way that they know how to cope. They may even be ignoring a lot of emotions because, I don't know, I get a sense of avoidance. I definitely do. I get a little sense of avoidance. We have 4 of Wands in reverse at the back of the deck. We got 8 of Wands here, and we've got the Hermit. I feel both of you, again, could really use that time to just take some time out to breathe, to de escalate within, and just focus on you. Focus on you for a bit. I also feel like it's important to shed light on the fact that I don't see any cards alluding to either of you trying to change each other. I feel like rather things are just at a standstill, at a pause right now. And instead of fixing each other, I'm really proud of y'all for this, but you are worrying about fixing yourselves, even if you don't even know where to begin. I feel like both of you do realize it is time to go into a little bit of hermit mode to further understand what the heck is going on in y'all's noggins, in y'all's hearts. And again, you know, if this was some sort of betrayal, and I'm not saying that it's coming from your person, right? Y'all could be suffering from betrayal from other people. Put it where it fits. There is energy of betrayal here. I feel like things definitely are at a standstill. And when it comes to this situation, the reason why the devil is in the details is because both of you are struggling to give yourself the time that you need to recoup, to come out of burnout, to focus on the pain, the hurt, and to work through that. With Three of Swords in reverse, it does show the potential to want to, right? And the potential leading up to it. But that is merely potential. With the Four of Wands, I feel like there wasn't a steady foundation to begin with. I feel like when it comes to this relationship, a lot of situations that could have felt like betrayals, or even, again, could have been betrayals, could have been mere accidents. Or they could have been seeds planted or situations that happened because of outside influences. And that's another reason why I feel we have the Three of Swords in reverse out here. I feel like a lot of stuff could have been prevented though. And this has definitely been a major learning experience for the both of you. I feel like, again, there was just no stable foundation with the Four of Wands in reverse, the back of the deck, to begin with, unfortunately. And I feel like that's why right now it can feel so intense. Because there is no security to fall back onto. I want to pull from The Mermaid, Messages from the Mermaids by Karen Kay, with artwork by Linda Olson. I feel like it's important to remember that without trust and without proper communication, and I'm not saying that, this is going on right now. I feel like communication is becoming more open. However, it's not as grounding and as emotional as it could be. It's not necessarily touching on all of the aspects of which, if there was a situation in which there was betrayal, there could be a sorry, but it still feels like there's a lot of ego behind that sorry. So it's like whoever is receiving the apology, they can feel like, oh, is this really genuine? Is this a genuine apology, friend? And I feel like that's another thing that, and I'm not saying either side is perfect, right? Because I feel like there could have been some sort of betrayal on both sides. I feel like, and it doesn't have to be like something as intense as like cheating or, you know, I don't know, lying or some sort of like act of intent of deception, right? It could have totally been, again, seeds planted by outer parties. It could have been lack of communication. I'm getting it could have been something as simple as, them telling someone else about a situation before you. I don't know. Something really important, but before you. Nonetheless, I feel there has been quite a few dings on this situation, this relationship with this individual. And whether this is worth waiting for, again, is up to you, because I feel like you both are just in the energy of not trying to change each other, but rather trying to work with each other and understanding each other for who you are. We have truth out. Seeing each other's truth. Understanding that there could be multiple truths and multiple things can be true at once. And I feel like there is a lot of nuance here. And I feel like there was a lot of meddling from the outside. And I feel like that's possibly why I was channeling the Kotodama devil, the soul word demon. He was able to plant these seeds just so to make it seem like either party was trying to attack each other, when in reality it was just him, so that he could make them weak in spirit and so that he could possess them and go forward with his agenda of taking on a lot of power. I don't want to get too into the details in case y'all do want to go watch that anime, but okay. Oops. We've got dreaming, a little risque, so we covering her up. Dreaming. And positivity. I feel that for the both of you, seemingly you're each other's dream person. And so it feels like you wouldn't change anything within each other to begin with, And I feel like y'all are coming to realize the truth in this situation. And it may make it easier for you to put a positive spin on things in order to continue focusing on your own journey. As they say, if it's meant for you, it'll always wander back to you, right? We are all meant to have our own journeys, and, taking into account the whole theory of the butterfly effect and each, cause and effect, each action having a consequence or even a benefit, taking that theory into consideration, everything we do can change our path and set it slightly askew, thus sending us onto different paths when we may have aligned with an individual in the past, right? But that doesn't mean that we're meant to stay on the same path And that doesn't mean that either of you are bad people because you drifted apart on two different paths. Like, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but what I am saying is love will always find a way. Love will always find a way. And if the love is there and the two of yous really want to make this work, you will find a way. I really like those. I want to pull from the Love Oracle. I'm being called to tell you that the Hermit is the Hermit because... Oh, that was the dishwasher. That scared the hell out of me. I thought that was my dog. But I'm being told to tell you that the Hermit is essentially the Hermit because the Hermit is the one who takes time out to reflect on past lessons and, you know, understanding the ins and outs of what the fuck just happened and being able to pull the wisdom from such. That is the Hermit. The Hermit realizes when it's time to take some time out because they're about to burn out. The Hermit is also the card of the Virgo. I feel like there's a lot of earth energy and air energy in this reading. So we have clock in reverse. Need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal, progress. We have girl talk in reverse. Time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. For overall energy, we've got kisses, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. Behind that was abundance. But we also have love in reverse, and that is unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. And we have healthy choices. And what's behind that? Seduction. But healthy choices, making healthy choices in love and in life. Self-love, self-care, being happier. I feel like you could be either one of you. I feel like a runner-chaser dynamic here, okay? I feel one feels that they are putting in a lot more emotional effort than the other. And I'm not trying to say that that is not the case, but multiple things can be true at once here. You could be putting in a lot of work emotionally into this relationship, and your person could be coming home, not putting in the effort, but they could be completely drained from, and we saw abundance. You know, we got the whole big lump sum, change in money, right? You or your person, y'all are going to be working a lot more. A lot more. And this could be for a good chunk of time. Okay? That could be putting distance between the two of yous. Whether or not it's worth waiting for is up to you. I feel like right now it's important to spend time with friends. You know, if you are single, to find the happiness and the joy and the peace within spending time with yourself and realizing, you know, your own company is refreshing. It's vibrant. It's invigorating. Your friends would love to get a little piece of you too. Okay? Like, you don't have to only spend time with your partner. You don't have to only have fun with your partner. It's really healthy, and it's a healthy choice to find that support system outside of just your partner. Because if it is just your partner, we have to think about it this way. That can be a little unfair in the sense that we expect a lot out of them. Quite a bit. When in reality, if we had other relationships that were part of the support system, right? Such as family, friends, work acquaintances, and allowing those individuals to show us support and to lift us up as well. We find that we enjoy living in the moment more. We're having fun more, and it doesn't just have to be with our partner. I feel like there's a bit of codependency here, and like it or not, the divine are putting this situation into play in order to ensure that you can go within and learn how to find that happiness outside of your partner. All right. I want to pull from Karma cards, and then I'm going to pull one last time from Romance Angels, okay? I'm so happy to have finally unpacked all of these decks. Gosh darn it. I've never used this deck. It's Karma Cards by Monty Farber. I've never used it. I don't know how it works, but we're using it today, boys and girls. Sorry, we watch Trailer Park Boys a lot, and I find myself just being like, okay, boys, let's do it, boys. I was raised by a Marine. I'm pretty much like, I sometimes feel like I am like, that's fun, a dude in a girl's body. Ugh, let's see. So we got the sun. Ooh. Demonstrate, realize, act like a leader. The creation of, the gaining of respect for or from. Things brought to life or light. I feel like you are about to receive some recognition that you deserve. And it's been a long time coming. And I feel like it is definitely going to help boost your self-esteem. At least just a little bit. If not, maybe you have already received this recognition and it could be foreign to you. It could be hard for you to accept these sort of, I don't want to say responsibilities because I do feel like you're a very responsible individual, but it could be hard for you to accept the accolades that come with these responsibilities. I feel it's easier for you to do the whole teamwork makes the dream work thing than it is to act like a leader, if that makes sense. I feel like it can be a little daunting in the sense that you don't want people to think that you feel you're superior to them, that you know more than them, that I feel like there's just a lot of empathy here in the sense that you don't want to make people feel some type of way. Empathy coming from a people pleaser type of mentality, if that makes sense. On the face of the deck, we have, what is this? In the third house. So your ideas, short-term thinking and trips, who or what is around you. Get your ideas going, the idea in question, by making the right connections. This time that you are going to have, if you are looking to become some sort of leader, or to gain leverage in the career that you're currently in, to move up the ladder, or even create your own abundance. Whatever it is. With the third house here, I feel like y'all have a lot of amazing ideas. And I feel like you're great at thinking on the spot. You're very quick-witted. You're a quick learner. You're great with your hands. We had the Ace of Wands out here earlier too. I feel like you're very in touch with your intuitive side. Some of y'all could even be, you know, my witchy people with the Ace of Wands, right? I feel like this is going to be the time of which you'll be able to make some really amazing connections, both you and your person, that are going to help you get further on the path that you are hoping to take. No matter what, everything is going to be okay. You are going to be okay. Both of you are going to be okay. It looks like both of you are going to have some sort of leadership position in different ways. And so, with individuals looking to you for guidance, it's important to know that you do bring a lot of fresh perspectives to the table. And that is one thing that this person fell in love with you for. Because the way you are so innovative, and I feel like you could say some really off-the-wall shit. I feel like you have a great sense of humor, though it could be dark. I feel like you are very different, and you bring something very different to the table no matter where you go. With that, everything's going to be okay. Let yourself explore those ideas, because you never know what could lead to, I'm seeing the Ace of Wands again. What could lead to that passionate spark igniting within you again? Or even, you know, within your relationship, if the spark did die, right? Oops. Uh-oh. Cool. Ooh, I like this. Release your ex. Oh my god. The time has come to clear your energy. Express your love in reverse. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Getting to know each other in reverse. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. This is going to be a really interesting explanation, but bear with me, y'all. Okay, so for overall energy, we got forgiving and learning in reverse. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. I love that. And then we have separation in reverse. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. And then stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Okay, from the start with release your ex, yeah, some of you may actually need to release your ex in order to move forward. But I feel like this could also be talking about changes within. Okay, so This could even be for individuals who have been together for a long, long time, okay? I feel like you have been together for so long that getting to know each other is off the table because, you already know all there is to know about this person. But this person is ever changing, and so are you. And I have said this in readings before, but y'all, if you feel like you've become strangers, release who you thought you knew. It's time to get to know each other again. Okay? And in time, you'll be able to express your love to one another more easily. It won't feel forced. It won't feel, like you're just giving a kiss to this random ass stranger. Okay? I feel like some of you do need to release your ex though. Some of you do. You know who I'm talking to. But if you do want to continue on with this individual, stay optimistic about your love life, okay? Understand that any sort of separation, be it mental or physical, if this is love, love will find a way. I am telling you. Okay? See it as a blessing and some time to work on yourself. Maybe even some time to have girly talk and hang out with your girly pops. We all just, we could use this time to socialize outside of just romance, I feel. What is this back one again? Forgiving and learning in reverse. I feel like it can be hard, and this could add to the whole getting to know each other in reverse. It can be hard to forgive and learn from situations that the two of you have gone through together. And you two could possibly be, pretty harsh toward one another. I'm not saying everybody is here, but I am saying that, just the other day, my fiance and I were gaming, and I hear how, other couples, interact, and sometimes it does make me sad to know that, they have this sort of banter, and it's not playful. And it makes me sad to hear, someone getting sad about how they're being treated in the moment, and the other one being like, oh, you're just a baby, or stuff like that. It's hard being part of that. And of course, my loud ass, I'm like, you know what? I think you're awesome. You're doing great. Blah, blah, blah. Without having to, shame the person who is coming at the other, right? I just wanted the humiliation to stop. And so I was like, hell no. You're great. You're doing awesome. I'm glad to have you on my team. Blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. I want you to open your eyes and be present, because you are going to see some situations, and this could even be within your girly pop group, of which you're going to be thankful that you're not with a partner like that, okay? You are going to be sitting there, and you might even just be I don't know, doom scrolling, or just going through the motions, maybe even on a random outing. You see couples and how they treat each other, and you realize hey, maybe I actually got it really good, and I need to be more grateful. Nonetheless, only you know exactly what's going on. I'm reading for a collective, multiple people. I'm tapping into lots of energies here. And while the collective may be going through very similar situations, obviously there are going to be spectrums and different meters of severity that I may not pick up on, or I might not even talk about because I don't want to. With all of that, I do want to say that I'm proud of you guys. I'm very proud of you. And if you're not proud of yourself yet, you're about to be. Your energy, again, is invigorating. It's revitalizing. I just saw the vitamin water in my noggin, the vitamin water triple X. I think that's acai berry and pomegranate and blueberry. But I feel like you yourself are so invigorating to the point of almost acting like an antioxidant for people when it comes to dealing with other toxic energies. I feel like I wore a lot of black today. I feel like it is important to cloak your energy right now. I'm not saying you have to wear a lot of black in order to protect yourself, but I am saying es importante to cloak your energy, because the devil is still in the details and he is still willing to sow these seeds. It's easier when someone is in despair to really tap into their noggin and essentially plant these seeds and make them think that whatever it is that you're saying is the truth, right? And I feel like that's how the devil can work. When you're at your most vulnerable state, I feel like that's when you can have some of the worst thoughts about yourself. I feel like we can be our own worst enemies at the end of the day. Even so, I'm still really proud of y'all. And if nobody told you today, I love you. I feel like you are very loved, especially from what we got here. This was a really interesting reading. Going back to Asta versus the Kotodama demon, or the soul word demon. So in Black Clover, this character Asta, he lives in a kingdom of which every single human around him has a magical ability, but he does not. Asta, on the other hand, has no magic, but later on, this grimoire chooses him. And this grimoire, which is similar to, a book of spells or a book of shadows for those who are within the pagan or Wicca community, maybe look into pagan veiling. That may be something that could help you. But Asta, though he is without magic, his grimoire comes with its own gift, and that is of anti-magic, meaning he can absorb anybody's magic with his sword. The grimoire came with a magical sword. There are two swords, but he's looking for the other sword. Nonetheless, it came with a sword, and it absorbs others' magic. He is able to do that with his sword, and he is able to tap in to this energy that came with this grimoire. But this energy is dark, I'm not going to lie. And it stemmed from the Kotodama devil, the soul word demon. And thus, the soul word demon realizes that one of the only ways he could be defeated is through anti-magic. Because in the world that they're in, the magic that they have, the humans, it doesn't even touch the Kotodama. And if it does, he's able to reassemble himself. And when he explains that he was the one who was sowing these seeds when it came to the great divide of races, and this was the elves against the humans. And honestly, the elves and the humans did nothing to each other to begin with. The Kotodama devil simply decided he wanted to sow these seeds in order to go through with another big plan that he had. But that was just the beginning. And he did that successfully. And then going from there, after the whole, race of elves got wiped out pretty much, they reincarnated in human bodies in order to get revenge. Okay, and so this soul word demon, this Kotodama devil, he really wreaked havoc, and he didn't even have to show face. Nobody even knew that he was behind it all. Nonetheless, the devil is in the details. With that, I bid y'all a peace and goodbye. By all that is divine, I will now close and exit this reading. Thank you for illuminating the path and for not retreating. Our session has now come to an end. In this advice, I shall not bend. Please be safe on your path and keep me safe in the aftermath. Blessed be. And so it'd be like that sometimes. I'm gonna go make some green chili chicken noodle soup. I'm gonna make some freaking dinner rolls. It's gonna be good. My mouth is watering. I have been craving some good chicken noodle soup. And I think it's gonna rain today. It might, but we'll see. So it might be perfect soup weather. Nonetheless, I hope y'all have a great weekend. I am hoping to see you next week, but if I don't, just know that I love you. And yes, I am still working on the downloads for another reading, of which is going to be a lot longer. I know that those of you who have been with me know that I like to do a lot of downloads, and the readings can get pretty lengthy. So thank you for being patient with me with that. And yeah, bye.
So then, why?